Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support. And any kind of updates and such, usually I go about on Twitter X, especially on some live streams, which at this time my schedule is a little bit still messed up. Um, I got last week a very busy week regarding my work as a freelancer. It's been quite hard to go about and do the normal things, even with the daily gaming news stuff. I think the last couple of days I didn't manage to do anything. Um, Most of these days, or I've been out of the house for some meetings or something like that. It's been a little bit all over the place. This week might get a little bit better, but I cannot promise anything. But yeah, basically that's the overall gist of things. But in the meantime, in the weekend, I managed to squeeze out and finish up Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is I got one more episode. It will be coming out tomorrow on the normal planned schedule of the gameplay series release. So the last episode will be up tomorrow, and by the end of that episode, I will give my overall thoughts on the game itself, at least from the experience that I had overall. Again, my thoughts overall there, and after that, I will have to put it on the 4K complete the gameplay series, which Dead Space remake is already there, so everything is on order. Again, I will still have when I resume my live stream stuff. I will probably do the New Game Plus on Elden Ring. I think I wrapped up everything that I wanted to wrap up on that journey. We'll start the New Game Plus journey there. And I'll, again, my plan is to do focus a little bit more on, again, bringing the challenge and to focus a little bit more on NPC quests, trying to get the most out of it, because I screw up a lot of the quests on my first run. I wanted to see how it goes, how it evolves, sorry, and also see, given that we already done the DLC, I'm still listening to some lore stuff there, so I can have a little bit more context and a little bit more understanding on certain things that I might have missed regarding lore-wise and the story and on mainly Mikla and the such, and a little bit more comprehension of the timeline of events. Also, I think DLC to a certain degree might be a little bit confusing, but it might. I still need to see if there is any kind of video for any content creator that goes about the timeline on events, like you have the a graphic timeline, so I can guide myself visually on the timeline of events. Doesn't need to be I don't need like an explanation of everything, but like major marks on the timeline of events since the fall from I forgot the Mother of Fingers, which supposedly it was the first thing that interrupt the natural order of things in the lands between, let's say, until we start off the game there. I think it will be, if you have like a comprehensive timeline, at least not definitive one, but I think it will be a good thing to, at least from my point of view, to be guide myself, and we can explore a little bit more on the reasonings on certain events happening and some decisions taken from NPCs. But yeah, other than that, I will probably, given that it is more an NG plus, so I don't have that urgency of going about and reach a certain point on the gameplay. I will probably intercalate with the Death Stranding. I need to resume that. I really want to progress on that game. It's been a few months at least since I played this game. But yeah, basically, and I need to update a little bit more on the channel update. It's been 6 months since the last one. A lot of stuff has already been done since I covered that. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff to do, but little time to do it. But yeah, I will try my best. We'll see how it goes. So, news. We got Intel stuff here. It's been a drama. I kind of follow up here and there, trying to follow up on this issue of the instability. Intel finally did a statement about this, but even the statement itself seems to be a little bit convoluted and contradictory regarding the statement and the follow-up statements that they did from the initial one. Yeah, they are cooked. Intel is cooked at this moment. There is not only the microcode issues, I think there is also some oxidation issues pertaining more on the 13th gen. I think the 14th gen doesn't have these issues, at least according to Intel. Um, yeah, and we started off with that thing that the PCs were kind of giving an error on the GPU side, no video signal, which then people, after troubleshooting, they reached the to the point that they pinpointed it was a CPU error on the instability wise. And then after further investigation, people managed to find out it was something on the BIOS stuff regarding the profiles with regarding voltages and all that stuff. I think in the meantime there was some BIOS updates, tried to smooth out those issues, but to a certain extent they seem to be persistent. And again, because I'm not very well on par with this kind of things with microcodes and a lot of stuff, I will leave it here. This is like 10 hours ago, yesterday, from Gamers Nexus. They did their own compiling of the situation there. And again, they are again, this is one of those channels that is very consumer focused. They try to do even journalism in the industry there, so you have like proper information, at least to the best of their abilities. And I watched this video on its full, and they go about especially on oxidation, which is a hardware issue in a manufacturer level, which is very bad, and the voltage issues and how they can basically be fixed, and some guidance here. They basically compile all the information and they go about and give them their best opinion regarding the situation on how to proceed if you are a consumer there. But yeah, even with that, I saw a tweet. I don't know where the thingy is. Maybe here. Yeah, here. Completely missed this one. Sorry. Regarding this drama, there has been another company that they are basically having around 50% failure so far regarding the 13900s and 14900Ks machines there, and they are basically replacing everything when the 9950X comes out. I think they're starting to replace the machines with that. Again, there has been another company that was, I think it was a game developer that had those machines also almost around 50% of failure rate with Intel CPUs. But yeah, they are basically they are basically going to replace with the AMD stuff, and this is not good for Intel at this moment in time. My overall thoughts on everything here, I think because they felt the pressure, especially with because 13th gen, they were competing with the 7000 basically at the beginning, the 7000 or the Zen 4 CPUs with when the AM5 thing started about a year and a half ago. I think they felt the pressure on the background, and they basically took a chance on regarding risk reward stuff there, and they just they screwed the pooch there, because this one, even the 7000 series, or at least from AMD, the Zen 4 CPUs from AM5 platform, they are pretty good. They're being stable. We only had the issue of some CPUs, the 3D cache ones, the 7800X 3Ds and the such. Some of them were popping, like exploding, but that was pinpointed very fast to a certain specific motherboard. I think it was ASUS, which they had their own issues throughout the last year or so. They were like I think it was the power stuff or the BIOS stuff was completely misconfigured, and that would pretty basically solve just by updating the BIOS. So it was not from the CPU side of things. It was a motherboard kind of a thing related there. So that was solved pretty quickly after the issue was discovered. Yeah, 7000 series, I never heard so far any kind of complaints from people using them. You can't complain with the, the performance issues, but in terms of failing and crashing all over the place like Intel does, they have been pretty stable with my own CPU. The 7700X, since I've been using this, it's been basically a year or so since I built my PC. I don't have any issues. In terms of stability wise, I don't have any issues regarding everything that I do on my PC. I don't have any issues. Stable wise, I did the update BIOS like 1 year ago. Never touched anything. I didn't have any issues, like not even overheating or something like that. It's been cool. Performance in terms of temperatures also. Idle maintains 40 degrees Celsius. Can jump up more when it's using itself, but I don't have any issues regarding CPU. That's one of the things that I'm pretty satisfied with CPU. And jumping in that AM5 instead of I was thinking at the time when I was doing my build to probably stick with AM4. But at the time, the prices were already starting to be relatively competitive, and I took a chance there on spending a little bit extra. It was not a huge difference, especially on the market that I was. The Middle Eastern market, the price differences were not that huge, so I could justify myself getting that little bit extra to get a little bit more to jump into a new platform M5. Even though, yeah, this and also at the time that I jumped, the issues regarding the DDR stuff there were already smoothed out, so there was no issues with the memory there. But yeah, my main overall thoughts on this is I think Intel felt the pressure when the AMD was about to launch the 7000 CPUs and the AM5 platform, and they basically tried to overcompensate that with a lot of risks and chances regarding manufacture and all the thing that it needs to be done on the background, like the microcode stuff and the BIOS things and the profiles. And they, again, because we've been seeing the last at least 5 generations or so, they kind of maintain the same kind of manufacturing process in the sense of how they make CPUs, especially after the introduction of the P and E cores. They just dial the clock on the wattage stuff and try to brute force them way in performance wise out of the competition, which again, now we are seeing the results, the trying to brute force themselves in performance. We are seeing the results of that to a certain extent. While AMD, given that they have, I'm assuming, less budget for these kind of things, they have to imagine alternative solutions to try and maintain their competitiveness on the market, at least in terms of the CPU. But yeah, I will leave both articles here that have the statement here. I do recommend watching the Gamers Nexus video regarding this situation because it's very comprehensive. It's almost half an hour, but it's very comprehensive. You will get what the problem is, and they even give you recommendation on how to act regarding the if you have any kind of issues with this 13 or 14 gen CPUs. So I think it's a good watch. And again, this is just another big company per se, so another company that has a lot of CPUs from Intel. They are just going to replace with them, and they are taking a chance even without any kind of reviews. Sorry about this, it jumps to Twitter. Regarding the new Zen 5 CPUs, they are going to jump to the new ones without taking any second thoughts. At least that's their statement there. But yeah, not good, not good. We got more stuff regarding the LPDDR memory there. They are the JEDEC, which is the consortium that does the spec stuff there. They're already jumping to specs for the next version, which is LPDDR6. They are basically performing a little bit better, supposedly. They're aiming for, I will assume, next year, reaching around, at the time of launch, around 14 14.4 GTs. Again, this is like 14,000 megahertz kind of a thing, or mega transfers. Basically, it's the translation here, which is basically translates to megahertz. It's basically almost the same thing. Again, given that the LPDDR5X is not going to be implemented, especially on the desktop market at this moment in time, even though we are seeing some prototyping regarding this format on certain motherboards to introduce this memory. Again, this memory format, basically it's better in every sense. Occupies less physical space, consumes less power, it's faster, in every sense, basically. Again, it's not thousands of percent over, but in overall sense, they are faster, they consume less power, they occupy less space. It's all around a good uplift in terms of performance and being in even on the main market that they are trying to introduce themselves, which is basically laptops and small devices. Again, given all these things, especially with laptops and probably to a certain degree handhelds, if you occupy less space is good, because in terms of engineering the devices is way better. We have more space afterwards to work with, less power, battery lasts longer, and even the fact that that he has more speed, again, more performance out of it, which is always good. And I'm seeing this, especially the LPDDR6, to start being introduced little by little, and probably it will start off on like high performance motherboards or systems. They're going to try to introduce this, given the cost of adding new technology on the market. Usually you tend to start up by the higher performance devices or hardware. I will start to see, my bet is we'll start to see, for example, on Asus ROG Maximums or whatever the name is called, starting to see this kind of LPDDR6 being introduced here. And I think by the LPDDR7 it will be basically mass adoption there. But I think we'll start to see probably next CES, we'll start to see more motherboards being adopting this format, and I think it's good. Even though, again, if I have my motherboard, I will supposedly have I will have to change my motherboard, or everybody needs to buy a new motherboard and new RAM. It's a little bit a costly upgrade, but it's good to see that. Again, that's my bet. We'll start to see this, especially on CS next year. So January 2025, we'll see more motherboards adopting this new memory format, and I think it's a good jump because, again, as I mentioned, less physical space, more performance, and less power consumption. It's good all around. And hopefully this will have mass adoption on the market on the DIY part of things here, because this is already being introduced in the laptop and handhelds and small devices that have those constraints there, and I think this is going to be something good to see in the near future. And then we got some leaks from the new Zen 5 CPUs, especially the 9900X early gaming test leak by Italian YouTuber, and it compares to the 7800X 3D. Again, overall thing is, again, even the 9900X consumes less power and has less temperatures by the fact that it's consuming less power. Again, the official, not the official, but at least from what we've been hearing from AMD, supposedly the 9700X kind of performs equally with the 7800X 3D, around that. But yeah, it always depends. Again, that's why I always ask people to wait for the official reviews from independent reviewers. But again, I think it was a selection of pre-selected games or best case scenarios to try to make those claims. But even funny enough, given that the 7800X 3D is a very powerful gaming CPU, and even this is on the top end of the new Zen 5, the 9900X, it's still in some cases maintains itself in margin of error differences. He basically the video is here, but I will assume he is speaking Italian, so it will be a little bit difficult for everybody to follow up on that. I'm not sure, I didn't see the video, but I will assume it's Italian because it's an Italian YouTuber. But yeah, he tested 5 or 6 games, so Alan Wake 2, City Skylines 2, Call of Duty Warzone 2, CS2, Counter-Strike 2, I think, Cyberpunk, and Fortnite. And it did in 1080, 1440p, and 4K, sorry, I was trying to read this number, and 4K. And in the overall scheme of things, the CPU itself was lower, so the 9900X was around 6% slower or 7% slower than the 7800X 3D. Again, this is a sample of 7 games or 6 games, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games. But even in some instances, it did fare better, especially 1080p, given that we are testing CPUs. Usually 1080p gives a little bit sense of the performance of things, mainly because of the bottlenecking situation there. But yeah, in average, it fared 7% slower, and even on 1% lows, a little around that margin of error, so around almost 10%. Again, a lot of it has to do with cache. Usually, in the average, games tend to fare better with higher cache CPUs than not. But yeah, it seems that even the 97X, 1900, sorry, I'm going to butcher the naming scheme here, the 9700X, which is the lower end, and which is the statement that AMD did, will be around 2% faster on average versus the 7800X 3D. Both of these CPUs, the 9700 and the 9900X CPUs, they are going to use less TDP, and they have lower clock rates, from what I understand. Yeah, and even again with all of this, they will run a little bit cooler than the 7800X. They are still on the limits there, and to a certain extent, it's giving us a sense of how the 99 or in this case, sorry, the 9800X3D will behave in terms of gaming, or how it might compare itself to the 7800X3D CPUs there. I'm sorry about the naming schemes, it's all over the place. But yeah, overall seems that it's on par. The X versions are kind of almost on par with the 7800X3D, even though again, there is less cache to be played with in terms of performance on the gaming part of things. But I think it's going to be a very competitive on multitasking, given that they did some tweaks on the architecture here on the Zen 5. So it manages to use less TDP. Even the clocks are on par with the 7000 series, so I don't know what kind of witchcraft they did there, but seemingly it seems that they are going to perform better than the Zen 4 CPUs. So, but we will have to wait for more comprehensive reviews, especially from I usually take this with Gamers Nexus and Hardware Unbox. They go very in depth regarding their CPU reviews. They just don't try to test out with a handful of gaming comparisons, and that's it. And they have more comprehensive tables for you to get a better sense of how they are performing on the lineup itself. But yeah, and the only thing that it still worries me is the price. We don't have any kind of price leaks or anything, so you can never. We had kind of, but we don't have any kind of more confirmation or not regarding the pricing of this new Zen 5 CPU. So yeah, everything at the end of the day, everything is resolve with the price, and we will get a sense if they are going to be or not good products when they came out, when they will come out. Regarding the performance, they can perform very well, but they are overpriced. They are not a good product. But yeah, it seems promising. Let's see how it goes. And again, this only going to reaffirm that Intel is feeling the pressure on the CPU market, given that we talk already the 13 and 14 gen issues that have been having throughout the latest months. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, basically hardware, this is what I got. We got the interesting thing. I watched this video. It's 3 minutes. It's not about the game itself, The Witcher 4, because the game itself, I don't think, again, given that the embrace of DEI and ESG and the acronym Mafia stuff that the CD Projekt is being ramping up there, I don't know how this will work, and the fact that I'm not very hopeful in this new trilogy and the Witcher remake thing there from CD Projekt. But again, this is more related to Unreal Engine 5, specifically the stuttering issues. On the video, they said that probably the CD Projekt will eventually, if there is any kind of developer team that might basically address this issue of the transversal stuttering that Unreal Engine has, since at least that I can remember, Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5, the issues that they have with the stuttering. Supposedly, their opinion is probably CD Projekt will solve this issue. Again, they have a huge team. I'm assuming that they have dedicated engineers. They are aware, jumping into this project by switching from the Red Engine to Unreal Engine. They already were aware of the stuttering issues, and I think that there is a photograph that they showed up in this video regarding the struggle, the stutter struggle there, and I think they will try to solve this situation, mainly because don't forget, Witcher probably will be a huge open world game, regardless of the story or whatever. It's more about the technical side of things. And I think they want to approach this and don't have any issues with transversal stuttering there. And the fact that they have a huge team, a lot of more resources than most of studios have at this moment in time, I think they will jump and go deep dive and try to solve this situation. And this, by extent, given that they are in cooperation with Epic regarding the situation, I think this the solution that they might try to find might be applicable to other gaming studios, given the close collaboration that CD Projekt has at this moment in time with Epic regarding the development of at least the new Witcher trilogy and the Cyberpunk sequel and the remake of the Witcher stuff there. That's my hope, at least out of this game. It's probably they might find a way of going around, of solving this stutter stuff that Unreal Engine still has in basically all games. But yeah, hopefully this will be solved, at least, or starting to be solved, because yeah, transversal stuttering is very annoying. It's very annoying, and it's not something that it's only plaguing Unreal Engine. We got the Dead Space remake had a lot of these things here also. Frostbite engine, I think. Yeah, it's from EA, so it's Frostbite 2, I think version 2. They still have this issue on, at least on Dead Space remake. They also have similar situations with Star Wars Jedi Remaster, but I think that one is Unreal Engine, if not mistaken. I'm not sure, but yeah, a lot of engines still have this issue. I think that the one that is less noticeable is the Resident Evil engine. I forgot the name, the To the Moon engine or something like that. But yeah, hopefully we'll see this starting to be patched out, because the shader compilation, it's like an automated process which doesn't solves a lot of stuff, the major stuff, but it doesn't solve everything, because again, It's something that supposedly needs to be done manually to a certain degree. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And finally, we got again more stuff from AC Shadows from Ubisoft. Again, we got since last covered this, they got that earnings call with Yves Guillemot lying all over the place with telling the two major title from very well-known franchise. He was calling the Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaw. They are very hyped. Supposedly they say that the consumer base is very enthusiastic, uh, and it has been receiving a lot of positive feedback from the trailers and the such. So he was lying to the investors blatantly, and yeah, and I think they on the that earnings call they were pressured a little bit regarding some question. Again, I didn't see the whole thing. I'm not going to even about wasting too much time this regarding this thing, the situation there. I think Ubisoft is cooked for this year, but we'll have to wait and see for more details. But yeah, now after all the drama, I covered a little bit on the Japanese legislative body taking opinions from the population there regarding the thing here. I think this might ramp up because the apology that Assassin's Creed, I don't know. I don't know. This is a PR stuff here. Supposedly, Ubisoft acknowledged that their depiction of Yasuke as a samurai is a matter of debate, tempering their initial commitment to framing Yasuke as a samurai. Again, um, too late. Now it's too late. It's been at least a couple of months that they double down, triple down, quadruple down. Then you got all those Kotaku and all of this bullshit acronym mafia activists on these sites regarding the historical accuracy of Yasuke being a black samurai. There is also some rumblings that the guy is gay. I don't know. It's a mess all over the place. And I think this message will only infuriate because it's like um, it's not it's a matter of debate. They try to excuse themselves, trying to make it that they never in all of their games they never went like full on selling their characters and selling the settings have historical accuracy. Again, uh, one of the things that everybody took for granted in Assassin's Creed's games is they have there are some historical events that happened or historical figures that really were living in that period of time, and they were important. And what they took always is some creative liberties on trying to explore what if scenarios to mold to the narrative they're trying to go about there, and everybody was comfortable with this. And I think that even with this Black Samurai stuff, I think people will take it as a non-issue. Even Japanese people will take it as a non-issue if they already starting the marketing saying the what if scenario in the sense that what if Yasuke was a samurai and led a revolution to try to liberate from oppressive I don't know, dictatorship, let's say, from Japan history there. Uh, if they took it as a marketing, and again, not only as a marketing, but the game itself in the sense of trying to create a narrative of a what if scenario and explore that, I don't think people will have any kind of issues. We already have a lot of fiction from manga and anime trying to explore that. We got one of the most recognizable ones, at least on the Western side of things, is Black Samurai, which at the time was voiced for the English dub by Samuel L. Jackson. I watched that. Again, it's one of those things that it's a what if scenario exploring. What if Yasuke was or a Black Samurai or whatever it is. There was even in Japan itself, there is always those what if scenarios, kind of a foreigner coming into Japanese and saving through a revolution, whatever. But it's everybody knows that it's taking an account as a what if scenario. But again, with this game, they Ubisoft didn't went there. They just went for full throttle DEI rewriting, trying to rewrite history with some conjectures and trying to get some trying to get in front of this situation, telling that Yasuke is historical. How do they say it? It was a depiction of historic events. Basically, the fact that he was a samurai, that he was a hero. Again, everybody's covering this. For sure, there are going to be better takes than me regarding this. But yeah, the fact that they went the way they went, they just burned bridges, burn goodwill that because Assassin's Creed Mirage was, from what I understand, a pretty decent game. It regained a little bit favorability regarding the franchise itself, and they just burned all the bridges of goodwill that they had with this game. Yeah, but from what I understand, this apology it's doesn't make things better for them, because again, now this is at this point that government officials are concerned and they might do something. I covered also that the Embassy of Brazil of Japan last year, they did a carnival show with they had, one of the things is they do several schools of samba. They do like themed things there, and one of those was Yasuke. And again, usually they are in this kind of festivities they do in Brazil. It's mainly it's not what if scenarios. Is they were basically marketing that the Yasuke was really a black samurai that was a hero in Japan and all that jazz. And given that this message was passed through officially by the embassy itself, again, you can see where this can go. It's kind of if you see it from the other way around, it's the same thing that officially, let's say, I don't know, some country somewhere like United States or even some European countries saying that slavery was never happened. It's all propaganda, but it's basically the same thing. You can see where this can go just by trying to rewrite history as it is. But yeah, this is not good for Ubisoft. I will try to keep my eyes on this, but yeah, we until November we got a lot of stuff that might happen with this one, and the fact that the CEO of Ubisoft, Yves Guillemot, is just lying through his teeth, saying that people are anticipating these two games again. And the stock is already dropped here and there. I think 20%. Again, I think this might be a debacle of the year in the gaming industry, of course. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see for more updates, see how they will try to backtrack out of this, because they are already seeing that this is not going to work. But yeah, this is what I got for you today, guys. I'm just going through some gaming deals. We got the Resident Evil franchise on sale. Again, I will leave a list of all the Resident Evil games on the description below. I've got here Resident Evil Revelations 2. Again, I will eventually try to go about all the games here. I quite enjoy a little bit of horror and shooting zombies here. But yeah, I will leave all the Resident Evils on the description. Got Midnight Suns. Again, this is the new gaming series that I want to introduce. I managed to claim it for free from Epic Game Store a few weeks ago, or at least a few months. Again, I will have to record some episodes in advance so I can have like a backlog of episodes, so I can keep some of them to maintain a good publishing rate on this game here. And it's 75% off. Again, excellent deal here. Got Red Dead Redemption 2, 67% off. We got 60% off on No Man's Sky. Again, they did the World's Part 1 update, which brought the version of the game to 5.0. Again, a lot of people are playing again this game, given that basically updated the game in an overall scheme of things. So it's always good to see that even since 2016 they went a long way to make an excellent game. We got also the Outer Worlds, again, Obsidian version of space, I don't know, Fallout space game kind of a thing there. Again, it's not a very big game, but again, it's 50% off, so I think it's well worthwhile. And the only thing that I still don't recommend fully is this one, Special Search Edition, because it brings the updates the visuals, but the performance is terrible. At least the last time that I checked that. And on GOG we got Miasma Chronicles. Again, this is kind of a follow-up to Mutineer Zero Road to Eden. I kind of enjoyed the game itself, got some interesting story there. Again, the mechanics not perfect, but I think this it's kind of the updated version, even though it takes in a different place, it's a different universe. But I think they refined a little bit there on the turn-based static stuff there, and also on the story seems interesting enough. And yeah, it's 60% off, so I think it's a good chance to get around and play a good turn-based game. And lastly, we got World. Again, I already did this game on my own. I do recommend the DLC, which is the Deep Threat. Again, very interesting game, pixel art style, got some tower defense mechanics there with some exploration and the upgrades, and the fact that it has roguelike stuff, so you make runs, so you can explore the world, and the story is it's interesting by itself. But yeah, very good game, especially for the price. Again, I think this is an excellent game. And yeah, basically this is it for today, guys. I will just wrap up with a plug on my Patreon as usual. The Patreon is for extra support, and at this time I'm more focused on trying to get a storage solution for me to be able to get backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the things that I do for the channel. But yeah, basically this is what I got for you today. I hope you have a full day, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, I'm Master out.